Good evening, Yukta. Good evening, Harshit.
Good evening, sir.
Just in 1 or 2 minutes, we'll be starting.
Good evening, sir.
And today we'll continue with the chapter cell. Had we started with the chapter cell?
Yes, sir, we are done also.
Okay, we had done a little bit, so we'll continue with chapter cell only.
Sir, I have my science test on the Monday.
On this Monday. And what are the chapters coming?
Sir, in bio cell until nucleus, whole chapter of motion and whole chapter of matter in our surroundings.
Matter in our surroundings, right?
Sir,
Yes.
even I have my quarterly exams on 30th.
Okay, so that's what I expect that everyone will be having their exams. By the end of this month, everyone will finish up with their exams also. Just 1 minute. I think I had. I was also sharing a PDF with you, right? Just 1 minute. Let me just find it out. I think. Just give me 1 minute. I'm just searching for the thing where I placed your that PDF. Yeah, I'm able to get it now. I can start. So everyone should be ready with your pencil, pen, notebook, everything should be ready with you. Okay, can anyone recall me the cell theory? Can anyone recall the cell theory? See
So what's
about
the
the cell.
question?
Okay, what do you know about cell theory? Anyone can recall about the cell theory?
Sir, can I?
Yes.
Sir, cell theory was developed first initially by Schleiden and Swan. It consisted two postulates. After that, Rudolf Virchow had expanded it by adding another point in 1955.
Okay. So some more points were added to that in 1956. So basically two ideas were represented by the cell theory. And what were the two ideas of the cell theory?
Sir, all living beings are made up of cell, and cell is the basic unit of life.
Yes. See, cell is the basic unit of life. It means that whenever we observe life or wherever we observe life, you can't have life possible without a cell. Life is possible only with the cell. If there is so yeah. So these were the things which we did, I think. All the living things, they are made of cells. Smallest living unit of structure and function of all organisms is the cell. That is, the cell is the basic structure and functional unit of life. And the last one was all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Okay. So all the cells they arise from pre-existing cells. That means you can't have a cell originated just with chemicals. You can't have a spontaneous arrangement, spontaneous generation. So that is all cells arise from pre-existing cells. In simple words, you can say if there is an egg, so there must have been a hen, or if there is a hen, there must have been an egg. So which came first? The theory persists here, right? So that your jokes like what came first, a hen or an egg. Okay, what came first? So basically, we are in this last part. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. Okay, you can't have the generation of the cells without any spontaneous generations. You can't have the spontaneous generations. Then we had seen all these. We had seen characteristics of all cells. What are the different things that a cell consists of? So a cell consists of a surrounding membrane, which we also call as the plasma membrane, okay, or protoplasm. So it is also called plasma membrane or protoplasm. It is also called as cell membrane. So the purpose or the function of the cell membrane is to keep all the contents of the cell bounded. It keeps the contents of the cell bounded, and it allows the movement of certain selective particles through the membrane. Only selected particles can be allowed from inside to outside and from outside to the inside. Okay, so that is the plasma membrane is selectively permeable. The cell consists of certain cell organelles, that is the structures of for cell function. Within the cell or inside the cell, there are small bodies or small structures which perform some definite functions. That means inside the cell, we observe division of labor. There is division of labor inside the cell. In the single cell, it performs all the functions of life, but it is distributed to different parts inside the cell. Okay. However, those parts they may not have their independent existence. Like if you just think of the nucleus, if you think of endoplasmic reticulum, the different contents which are present inside the cell, they do not have their independent existence. They will be existing within the cells only. Okay. But they have a definite function which we call them as organelles. Similar to the organs, like organs have specific functions, in the same way we have organelles which perform specific functions of the life. Then the last one is the control center with the DNA. The control center of the cell. Can anyone name the control center of the cell? Yes. What is the control center of cell?
Nucleus.
Nucleus.
Yes. Nucleus is the control center of the cell, and it consists or it has DNA. So I think up to now all of you must be remembering the full form of DNA. Yes. So what is the full form of DNA?
So deoxyribonucleic acid.
Yes, DNA is deoxyribose nucleic acid. Its structure is a double-stranded helical structure, which was given by Watson and Crick. So the model of the DNA was given by Watson and Crick. It is a double helical structure. So we'll study all these characteristics over here. So in the cells, we had seen that cells can be divided broadly under two categories, the prokaryotic cells and the eukaryotic cells. As we know that the prokaryotic cells, they are not well developed, they are not well formed. Okay. So not well formed means they do not have all the cell organelles. Okay. The division of labor is very less. So also they do not have a fixed nucleus. There is just a dense matter which we call as nucleolus. So you can say that there is no nuclear membrane or there is no fixed nucleus inside the prokaryotic cells. Also, the other cell organelles are also absent, like you won't find mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus. such organelles, they are not present in prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic means they are primitive. They are not the developed cells. Like in the current sense, you can call the people of tribes, okay, who are not aware of the modern technologies and modern things. They are still surviving on the forest with the way of life that their ancestors were living. So, in the same way, you have the prokaryotic cells. They are not well developed. Their functionalities are also not well developed. Generally, the prokaryotic cells, they are the bacteria. They have a cell. They have a cell wall around their body. Dense matter inside their body, which we call as the nucleolus, where the nuclear material is concentrated, and they have nuclear material present in the form of RNA. So here, in the prokaryotic cells, the nuclear material is present in the form of RNA, not in the form of DNA, in the form of RNA. So here, a diagram of bacteria has been shown. However, it has been marked as DNA, but I would like to correct it. It's not DNA, it is RNA, which means ribose nucleic acids. Got it? It has a flagellum. So flagellum is a molecular structure which helps in the movement of the cell. So the prokaryotic cells, they can move from one place to another with the help of the flagellum. Anyone having any other doubts with the prokaryotic cells?
No, sir.
See, the prokaryotic cells also, if you observe their types, there are generally two types of the prokaryotic cells, like the bacteria and the archaebacteria. So bacteria are still a little bit ahead, but archaebacteria, they are even less developed. So the bacteria and archaebacteria, they are the examples of the prokaryotic cells. So these characteristics of the prokaryotic cells: no membrane bound nucleus, nucleoid, that is the region of genetic concentration, organelles not bound by membranes. There are no organelles, membrane bound organelles are absent. Those organelles which require a membrane, they are generally absent. Even if we talk of their respiration, so their mode of respiration is anaerobic respiration. That means the respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen. Now the eukaryotic cells. See, what are the eukaryotic cells? These are the cells which constitute most of the living organisms. The smaller or the bacteria, they consist of the prokaryotic cells, but most of the living organisms like the human body or any other organism that we look up, their body is made up of the eukaryotic cells. EU means true. Okay. So here eukaryotic, it means true nucleus. The cells which have a true nucleus, they are called as eukaryotic cells. So they have true nucleus. True nucleus means the nucleus will have a nuclear boundary and there will be the presence of the membrane bound cell organelles. The membrane bound cell organelles like cytoplasm, mitochondria, so not cytoplasm, mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, all these will be present. Examples are fungi, protists, plants, animal, plant cell, animal cell. And they possess a number of cell organelles. That means these organelles, they contain, membranes. They are membrane bound.
So can
So
we
just
tell that all the multicellular organisms are made up of eukaryotic cells?
you can't say, yeah, then their body is made up of the eukaryotic cells because but it doesn't mean that there is no prokaryotic cell present in their body. Their body may also contain a few prokaryotic cells also.
So can you give an example?
Okay, for an example, in your body there are a number of bacteria which are still surviving. You can't say that there are no bacteria in your body.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yes, their body consists of the eukaryotic cells, but there may be prokaryotic cells also surviving on their bodies.
So can we tell that the body of multicellular organisms is made up of eukaryotic cells?
Eukaryotic or prokaryotic?
Okay.
There are no multicellular organisms whose body is made up of prokaryotic. Okay. You will not find any multicellular organism of that sort where you think that all their body is made up of prokaryotic cells. Okay. So their body is made up of eukaryotic cells only.
Okay, sir.
So now we'll see the structure of some eukaryotic cells, where we'll generally see a plant cell and an animal cell. Right? So see, a comparison between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell has been shown. Both have plasma membrane, both have cytoplasm, both will have genetic material, whereas a prokaryotic cell will have genetic material in the form of RNA, whereas an eukaryotic cell will have genetic material in the form of DNA. So this one will not have DNA. Yeah, Advait, what happened?
Sir, in the prokaryotic cell, the hair-like structure is flagellum, right?
No,
Fla-
not all the hair-like structures are flagellum. These long hair-like structures which we see at the bottom, they are the flagellum. Okay, these can be called
okay,
as cilia. These small
cilia.
structures, yeah, they are the cilia, and these long ones they are called as flagellum.
They are like
Also,
the locomotory organ.
yeah, they help in locomotion. You can say they are the locomotory organs. Also, the size of the prokaryotic cells is very small as compared with the eukaryotic
Okay.
cell. The size of the prokaryotic cells is very small. See, the size of the prokaryotic cells, it ranges from 0.1 micrometer to 10 micrometers. Okay. Whereas for a eukaryotic cell, the size ranges from 10 to 100 micrometers. So a eukaryotic cell is much bigger as compared with the prokaryotic cell.
Sir, how much does 1 micrometer be?
Okay, a 1 micrometer is 10 to the power minus 6 meter. So you can say like this. Uh, 1 micrometer, I can say 1 micrometer is 10 to the power minus 6 meter, which will be equal to 1 over 1000 of millimeters. So you can say 0.001 millimeter. This is what we call as 1 micrometer.
So can we call it as micron?
Microns, yes, we can call it as microns.
Okay, sir.
Anyone having any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So generally some questions are asked as the difference between a prokaryotic cell and an eukaryotic cells. Okay. So you can tell about their size, you can tell about their nucleoid region, you can tell about the membrane bound cell organelles, like these can be talked of when you are asked about the similarities and differences between a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell.
Sir,
Mhm. Yes.
so in the prokaryotic cell, there is one purple color curve-like thing beside the nucleoid region. What is it?
They are the ribosomes.
No, sir. There is one purple color curved-like thing, like a question mark or something.
Okay, okay, like this one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's not any a specific organ. They may be like lysosomes or any other small organelles may be there, but they are not membrane bound. It may be a vacuole. You can see the formation of a vacuole also.
Okay, sir.
Maybe a protein. So here, so shall we move ahead? Yeah. Now zoom into your own body to see the different cells that make up your heart, brain, and bones. Okay. So your heart itself is made up of a lot of cells working together. So eventually what happens to your different cells, they combine together. We have cells combining to form the tissues. Tissues combine to form the organs. Different organs combine to form the organ system. And different organ systems combine to form the organism. So finally, the organism is collection of all these. So you have the basic structure unit of life, that is cell. Different types of cells, they work together to perform a similar function. They are called as tissues. For example, we have epidermal tissue. So epidermal tissue is the tissue which forms the covering of the organs. Then different tissues, they are combined together to form organs. For example, a small cell has been uh, cells have collected to form cardiac tissue. Different cardiac tissue, muscular tissue, and different other tissues, they combine together to form your organ like the heart. Okay. Then heart, veins, arteries, all of them, they combine together to form the organ system, which we call as the circulatory system. Then, just like the circulatory system, we have different other systems. We have respiratory system, we have excretory system, locomotory system, nervous system. So all these systems, they work and combine together to form the complete organism. But at the basic level of all of them is the cell. Got it, everyone? How the body organization of the different organisms work? Yeah. So we'll try to draw this diagram of a cell. And also I would like everyone to draw the diagram. It will take around 5 minutes, but I want everyone to draw the diagram of this animal cell. Okay. Either you can draw it by copying it from here, or if you want me also to draw, so I'll also be able to draw. I'll also draw it, but with some simple methods. Okay. So will you can you just draw it by looking at the diagram? Yes. Can you draw the diagram?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So try to draw the diagram. It should not take longer. Well, I'll also draw with you. Along with you, I'll also draw the diagram. Okay. Okay, so do you want me to show the diagram or will you be able to draw it? Shall I show you the diagram? Yeah. If it see, this is a complete three-dimensional diagram or three-dimensional view. I would like to represent the same thing in two-dimensional view also. So when I represent the same thing in a two-dimensional view, if someone wants me to show me the diagram, will inform me. I will show that person the diagram again. So the shape can be any shape of the cell. There is no fixed shape. So first of all, it can be any shape, but at the center you have the nucleus. Nucleus is generally central in this structure, surrounded by the nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope. So we draw the nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope like this. So this is your nucleus surrounded by the nuclear membrane. Inside the nucleus, we observe a dense body which we call as nucleolus. Within the nucleus, you also find some thread-like structures inside the nucleus. These thread-like structures, they are called as chromosomes. So, nuclear membrane, and this is your nucleolus, chromatin fibers, and these gaps between the nucleus, they are called nuclear core. So let us try to label. And yeah, Advait, what happened?
Sir, actually, in like our school teacher told like the middle, the gaps are there between the membrane, that is the perinuclear space, and the nuclear pores are on the nuclear envelope, like the outer membrane.
Yeah, see, actually, if you are representing a three-dimensional object in two-dimensional, okay, so you will be facing some issues. For example, here in this one, you can see clearly outside the nucleus you have a covering. So that covering is the nuclear membrane, and you can see here tiny pores. Can you see tiny pores in the nuclear
Yes, sir.
envelope? Yes. So those tiny pores are the nuclear pore. Now, when I have to represent the same thing, when I'm representing the same thing with the two-dimensional thing, with the two-dimensional image. So in the two-dimensional image, what I'm representing here, I'm representing this boundary only. See, I'm representing this boundary with this pore. Again this boundary, again this pore, again this boundary, again this pore. So in this way, I'm not representing this outer portion in three dimensions. I'm representing this boundary in the two dimensions. Got it?
Okay, sir.
So that is why I have both the three-dimensional figure and the two-dimensional figure. So now surrounding the nucleus, you have endoplasmic membrane. So the endoplasmic membrane surrounding this nucleus will be having endoplasmic membrane, which act as a channel of transport between the nucleus and the surroundings. There are different other functions also for this endoplasmic reticulum. So you can have different nuclear membrane. So but see how it appears in two dimensions and the way you observed it in three dimensions. It's our weakness that we need to draw it like this only. So this is a two-dimensional figure where we get this as endoplasmic reticulum. We call it ER or endoplasmic reticulum. Now in the ER, there can be two types of ER. This endoplasmic reticulum ER, it can be either a rough or it can be smooth. Okay. A rough endoplasmic reticulum has the presence of ribosomes on it. It will be shown like this with some dots. So okay, we observe that there are some these ribosomes which are present on them. So there can be certain endoplasmic reticulum which have the presence of ribosomes on them, and there can be certain endoplasmic reticulum which are smooth. So for example, this endoplasmic reticulum which has been marked, it is the rough endoplasmic reticulum called RER, and this one, the bottom one, I can see that there are no ribosomes associated with it. So this is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, or we call it as SER. It doesn't have the presence of any ribosome. Ribosomes are also found in the cytoplasm. They are found freely in the cytoplasm also. We'll discuss about what are ribosomes also.
Sir, what will
So
ribosomes do actually?
ribosomes, they help in the process of protein synthesis.
Second,
Okay. So whatever protein synthesis
sir means
means manufacture of the proteins. Proteins are manufactured from amino acids by the ribosomes. So they help, these are the ribosomes, and their function is protein synthesis. They are also called as protein factories. This one was nucleolus. Then
sir, and what will Golgi bodies do?
Golgi bodies, I'll come, just let me draw the Golgi bodies. We'll discuss about Golgi bodies. They act as a packing material. This is nuclear membrane. You have chromatin network or chromatin fibers. These thread-like structures, they are called chromatin network or chromatin fibers. This is your nuclear core. And inside the nucleus, you have the presence of a granular substance inside the nucleus. This granular substance which is present inside the nucleus, this is called as nucleoplasm. So within the nucleus, you find a nucleoplasm. So these ones, they are the nucleoplasm. So you need to observe them clearly. Now everything, whatever I have written in the diagram, is everything clear to everyone? Because now I will be doing nucleus. After this, I will give you the different other cell organelles which are present, and then I will do the nucleus. So what are the different other organelles which are present? Apart from this, you have the presence of mitochondria. So this is mitochondria. You can have presence of more than one mitochondria. Then there are Golgi bodies. In 2D, they are represented something like this. Something like this. They are the Golgi bodies. Their function, they perform the housekeeping purpose, housekeeping functions. Yeah, like a packing, dispersal, that function is performed by the Golgi bodies. They also help in the formation of vesicles. So vesicles and lysosomes, they are formed from the Golgi bodies. You find another type of cell organelles which are called as lysosomes. So something like this you can find. They will be called as lysosomes. You may also find the presence of some small vacuoles. So these are lysosomes. Let's say these one, they are vacuoles. Also, in the animal cell, we also find centrioles. So centrioles, they are found only in the case of animal cell and not in the case of plant cell. So in the animal cell, we find a pair of centrioles. So these are a pair of centrioles. Their work starts or they start working during the process of cell division. So they are the centrioles. Okay, how many of you are able to recall all the names that we have discussed? Is there can I expect everyone to recall all the names?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So I'll be asking a little bit from all of you about the different cell organelles that you can see. Like I told you, the ribosomes, they are called the protein factories as they help in the manufacture of proteins. Then your
Yes.
mitochondria.
The
Mitochondria,
mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell.
yeah, it is known as the power of cell. It is also called as a cell within a cell. So cell within a cell, that means it has its own DNA. It can perform its own functions. So mitochondria. Okay, just tell me the different parts of a cell or parts of a nucleus. What are the different parts of which the nucleus consists of?
So nuclear envelope,
Yes,
nuclear pores,
nuclear core. Okay,
chromatin,
chromatin, very good.
nucleolus,
Nucleolus and
DNA,
no, okay, DNA is we don't have a separate DNA. The DNA is located on the chromatin network, chromosomes. So we don't like write them separately. DNA is contained in the chromatin network. Some scattered DNA may be found within the nucleolus. Okay, oh, fine. DNA after DNA.
chromosomes,
Okay, chromosomes you already told. So mark that.
Nucleoplasm.
So okay, see. So the different cell structures we have seen endo. Okay, from the nucleus, I'm marking all the structures of the nucleus. You have the nucleolus, nuclear membrane, chromatin fibers, nucleoplasm, nuclear core. So these are the structures. When we discuss about the nucleus, we'll be discussing about these five things. We'll be discussing about nucleolus, we'll be discussing about nuclear membrane, chromatin networks, nucleoplasm, nuclear core. So what is the role of the nucleolus?
Sir, can I tell?
Yes.
The
Sir, it
nucleus.
controls the chemical reactions that are taking place in the cell.
What happened? Yes,
Sir,
pardon.
it controls and directs the actions taking in place in the cell.
Which portion? Nucleolus.
Yes, sir.
Not only the nucleus.
So,
When we talk of these functions, so
the
this function.
nucleolus helps in releasing ribosomes, RNA.
Yes, nucleolus, it helps in the release of RNA, that is ribose nucleic acid, and hence help in the formation of proteins.
mRNA.
mRNA. Very good. So you have two types of mRNA, a messenger RNA and transfer RNA. So the mRNA or messenger RNA is released from the nucleolus. So the controlling part is done mainly by the nucleus. When you say the control of the control of the cell is done by nucleus. Okay, the nucleus as a whole. So the nuclear pore. Any functions of the nuclear pore?
Transport of materials between from cytoplasm to nucleus.
Yes, the nuclear pore. They are the passage through which the transport of material can take place between nucleus and the cytoplasm. Okay. Then chromatin network. What is the role of chromatin network?
Sir, it contains DNA and chromosomes.
Yes, chromatin networks. They are thread-like structures which are found in the nucleus. During the time of cell division, they thicken up. So during the time of cell division, they thicken up and they contain DNA in the form of genes, or you can say genes are stored in the so genes are stored over there in this on the chromosomes, right? Yes. Anyone having any other doubts?
No doubt, sir.
Okay, so everything from the nucleus is clear. After the nucleus, we move on to the endoplasmic reticulum. So the endoplasmic reticulum, they act as a channel of transport, a mediator. They act as a mediator or a channel of transport for the substances moving out of the nucleus and to the cytoplasm. In association with ribosomes, they help in the formation of proteins. Okay. Since ribosomes are also called as protein factories, so the endoplasmic reticulum, in association with the ribosomes, they help in the formation of proteins. So that we can call for the rough endoplasmic reticulum. For the smooth endoplasmic reticulum or SER, they generally help in the formation of cholesterol. Okay. So cholesterols, steroids, they are manufactured by SER or smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Now we'll move to the other cell organelles like the mitochondria. We'll be studying that in detail, but let's first do the nucleus in detail. Yes, what happened?
Sir, SCR produces lipids.
Yes, not lipid. Yeah, cholesterols and some steroids. Steroids. They are produced from SER.
Okay, sir.
Now see here. Now we'll be moving to the detailed structure of each organelle. And okay, just if you want to discuss with the plant cell. So in the plant cell, you will also find all these structures except for the centrioles. The centrioles will not be present in the plant cell. So, so in the plant cell, the centrioles will not be present over there. And in the plant cell, you'll find the presence of a cell wall around the cell. Whereas in the animal cell, there is no cell wall. Also, there will be a presence of large central vacuole. The presence of a large central vacuole in a plant cell. In the animal cell, a cell vacuole may be present or may not be present. Even if it's present, then it's very small. Okay. So cell vacuole is something like a packet in which cell can discharge its waste products and if it needs to transport some materials, so those materials they are packaged in this they are packaged in that cell vacuole. For example, here we see, just if you observe over here at this cell vacuole, okay, you observe that some materials are being secreted from the cell to the outside. So this function of the secretion of the substances to the outside, it is performed by the cell vacuoles. Got it? Okay, let's see the detailed structures now. See, as I told you, for the plant cell, almost all the structures are same. The extra thing is that you will have the presence of a cell wall. So here you have the presence of a cell wall all around the nucleus. You have the presence of a large central vacuole. Also, the plant cell, they have the presence of chloroplast, another cell organelle, a cell organelle that contains chlorophyll as the pigment. As you know that chlorophyll is not required in the animal cells. So animal cells do not contain chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are the cell organelles which are found only in the case of plant cells. Okay. Rest everything is the same. The differences are chloroplast, large cell vacuole, and cell wall. So you see again the different things they are shown to you. I don't think that you need to go into the much depth of it. The first structure that has been discussed, of course, we'll be discussing this one, that is the structure of the cell membrane. See, the structure of the cell membrane is shown over here. This is shown as the structure of the cell membrane. So as we know that the cell membrane, it forms the outer boundary of the cell. And it is selectively permeable. So this is your cell membrane or plasma membrane shown to be consisting of uh, it is shown to be consisting of molecules. Okay. Now it is not just one attempt. Different scientists try to explain the structure of the cell membrane with different ideas. Okay. Like before we move on to this idea, which is given over here, there were different other ideas. Like there was given a sandwich model, which tried to explain the structure of this plasma membrane, but it was successful. Then this model which we see, this is also called as a phospholipid bilayer. You have a phospholipid bilayer. We say that the plasma membrane consists of a phospholipid bilayer with floating proteins. Floating proteins which appear as if icebergs. So the floating proteins, they appear as if icebergs floating in a sea of lipids. So this structure was called the structure of the plasma membrane. This is not the sandwich model. The sandwich model was a different one, but you have to study only this one. This model you have to study, which we call as the phospholipid bilayer model. So according to it, the plasma membrane, it consists of bilayer like this. So this is a phospholipid molecule. This is another phospholipid molecule. So the tail portion that you see, the tail portion is the lipid portion, and this head portion that you see, this is the phosphate molecule. So this one is the phosphate molecule, and these two tails which you observe, they are the fat molecules. So the structure of the plasma membrane can be represented in the form of phospholipid bilayer. Bilayer means there are two layers. This is one layer and this is another layer of phosphate and lipid. So that is why it's called phospholipid bilayer. So this model, it gives you the molecular arrangement or the molecular makeup of the plasma membrane. So the plasma membrane, it is made up of a phospholipid bilayer with floating proteins. They are also called as tunneling proteins. If the proteins pass through and through, they are called as tunneling proteins. You can see here these yellow ones which are shown over here. Okay, they are the proteins. A portion of it you can see to be floating above this surface, and rest of them it is passing through and through. They are also called as tunnel proteins. And why they are called as icebergs or floating ones? Because if you look from the top, you will see only this portion. The remaining portion of the proteins you will not be able to observe. Just like the icebergs, a little portion of the ice will be in front above the water, and rest of the ice will be below. Rest of the ice will be below. Got it? Understood the structure of plasma membrane? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's next diagram. And see, as we discussed about the endoplasmic reticulum. See, on the endoplasmic reticulum, you have some fixed ribosomes, and hence the endoplasmic reticulum, they are called as the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Also, you have the presence of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. See, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, these ones, they do not contain any ribosomes over. The different, you can say, the different layers of this endoplasmic reticulum, they are called cisternae. So the folded structures or the different layers of this endoplasmic reticulum, they are called as cisternae. This one, the name here, cisternae. Okay. And you are discussing about the Golgi body. So these are the Golgi bodies over here. Okay, we'll see each of them in detail about the cell organelles. The cellular components, they are called as the cell organelles. Okay, so I think after this we'll continue discussion in our next class, right? Any doubts to anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, so bye all of you. See you
Thank you,
again in
sir.
Bye,
next.
sir.
Okay, bye.
Bye, sir.
Is there anyone who had drawn the diagram?
Sir, me.
Bye, sir.
Okay, just show your diagram. Can you show it?
Okay, sir.
Just hold for 1 minute. I think your camera blur is working.
Okay, one second, sir.
That's why. Yeah, it's good. Good. Okay, Jitendra, can you show yours?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just show it.
1 minute. Sir, I have not labeled the diagram, sir.
Okay. Just show it. Okay, good. Good. And now draw the fair diagram and label it. Okay, bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.